Back at the hotel, Jean reveals another layer of his female aversion.
He's trying to make me her pet.
Isn't it because...
Jean feels that women do nothing but either use him or treat him like a pet. Perhaps this is why, despite having a physical attraction towards women, he gravitates towards men. So far, the closest thing Jean has had to an actual friend in this story has been Elvis. Men are simple. He punches them and they fall over. He gets satisfaction with no emotional involvement. Women, on the other hand, arouse but confuse him. They demand jobs from him, and yet they belittle him. He doesn't want to get involved. He just wants a simple, worry-free life, and yet his primal urges betray him, bringing him back to women time and again.
You're a little puppy?
In this scene, Olivia continues her role of spiritual guide, sending Jean to a fortress that the bad guys are using to dig up some sort of evil.
Hey now, you should do your own dirty work.
I checked it out. They're using the fort to dig up some sort of evil.
For any viewers who are getting confused, this source of evil is obviously a reference to Jean digging deeper into his heart to get to the root of his demons.
Naturally, the fort is a giant enemy crab, and Jean enters inside for massive damage. That's where he finds the fellows who killed him. After a brief battle, they escape, only to run into Azel, who kills them once and for all, and in a moment of artistic brilliance, we see that he has actually claimed them for himself. Jean has failed to forgive them, gifting the Devil Hand one of his inner demons. With his failure, Jean has allowed the Devil Hand to become stronger. Jean bumps into Azel and they have a conversation that offers up some interesting lines which I shall comment on in a moment.
You and I, we're polar opposites.
Those who possess this power are capable of becoming either god or demon. You chose demon, huh?
In a world where only the strong survive...
After Jean defeats him, they talk some more, and Azel lets out one more interesting
distinctions
tidbit.
between humans and demons. Ah yes, you're taking good care of my fiancé, right?
This scene solidifies my theories about Azel. Azel is Jean's dark side. While the God Hand wants to overcome and defeat his inner demons, Azel wants to claim them for himself, the Devil Hand. In doing so, it prevents Jean from overcoming them and forces the demons to remain, festering in the deepest recesses of Jean's soul.
Those who possess this power are capable
The distinction of choosing to become a
demon.
god or a demon is a metaphor for going to heaven or hell, and the ultimate destination of Jean's soul rests on which of the two emerges victorious from this inner turmoil.
As strong as Azel is, I suspect that he is not yet able to defeat all three devils at once. That is why he has joined them. He is biding his time, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike, unless, of course, Jean gets to them first. And the comment about his fiancée? Well, I think you can guess who that is by now.
Jean encounters Dr. Ion, and as you may notice, he's a robot. This is one of the few scenes that doesn't feature any real symbolism, but exists solely to prove that Jean is a badass. After all, if you can beat up a robot, your ass is certainly bad in my books.
Out of batteries?
Back with the Devers, they're once again arguing. Shannon is berating Belzer for using Dr. Ion, and Belzer is criticizing Azel for failing. However, Azel claims that he was only testing Jean's strength.
Failed us as well.
I went to evaluate his power.
There is an interesting point where Belzer states that to achieve his paradise, he needs to remake the world. This reference to paradise is important, and I shall go into more depth later on.
Parasites. To achieve our paradise, we must remake this world. History has proven that humans are too weak to bring about any real changes.
With his frustration growing, Elvis decides it's time to go and have one more pop at Jean, but this time he's going to do it in demon
Especially
form.
not in demon form. I'm 100 times more powerful as a true demon! Very well.
Meanwhile, Jean confronts Olivia about her being Azel's fiancée. We find out that Olivia is a member of a clan whose duty was to protect both God Hands. She became engaged to Azel through an arranged marriage. One day, Azel claimed one of the God Hands, and the power drove him insane, igniting in him a desire to obtain the other God Hand.
Personification of evil, and taking on the name of Devil Hand. He dedicated himself to finding the other God Hand and began a campaign of terror within the clan. My father entrusted me with protecting the remaining God Hand, and I ran away to escape certain death. Perhaps the only surviving members of my clan are Azel and I. Everyone else died defending the remaining God Hand.
This story shows how Jean's resentment for Olivia has formed a powerful bond between her and Azel, and it shows that until Jean can forgive her, she is essentially Azel's property. Her tragic past has, however, touched Jean, and it has softened his resentment slightly. For the first time, he appears to truly care for her.
On his way to confront Elvis for the final time, Jean battles a rock band. The reason for this is, well, it's because Batman hates punk music, I guess?
Shit.
Jean eventually finds Elvis, and they enact their final battle. Despite Elvis using his true demon form, however, Jean defeats him. As Elvis lays dying, he and Jean share a tender moment.
Tell Shannon I was the bravest man you ever...
And then, just like that, Elvis burns away, and Jean has overcome his gluttony. On his way to battle Shannon for the final time, Jean bumps into the Sentai midgets again, and shows his growing confidence by making their leader cry.
Ah, this is dumb.
He then kills them, and wrongly I feel, banishes his beautiful Joe guilt. While Jean explores the mine, Shannon manages to blindside him, kicking him into a pit where slaves are being forced to turn a giant cog, because turning cogs is what slaves do. As they do this, kinky workers dish out serious whipping.
More than one of you should be enjoying.
Jean manages to save the slaves, showing that despite dying to save Olivia, he is still willing to risk himself for others.
Thank you!
While showing their gratitude, one of the slaves offers his bum to Jean for sexy time, but Jean manages to abstain. If there is one hole in this story, it's that we never find a true resolution to this issue. Eventually, Jean catches up with Shannon, and despite her renewed attempts at seduction, Jean manages to goad her into revealing her demon form and instigates a fight. Jean successfully banishes Shannon, and before she expires, they discuss what happens to demons. It transpires that demons don't die, but actually go to hell. With the demons unwilling to go to hell, it shines light on the significance of Belzer's desire to achieve paradise.
Everyone's come to say goodbye.
Perhaps the demons don't actually want Jean to be defeated. Perhaps they don't want his soul to be damned. Could it be that they actually want to go to
Tell him I
heaven?
said hi.
Next, we witness a discussion between Belze and Azel. Belze still wants to resurrect Angra, but Azel seems to think it's foolish. Instead, he leaves Belze, telling him that he will find his own path.
I shall choose my own path.
A path to
When
ruin.
Jean returns to the hotel, he finds that Olivia has been kidnapped.
Well, at least Olivia's
Goons
not
leap
as bad
in
as that
and try to
crazy
defeat
bitch.
him, but he dispatches them with little effort. This scene shows how Jean now has control over his inner demons, as he is able to manipulate the goons at will. Jean wastes a little time in locating Belze. When Jean asks him about Olivia, Belze reveals that he has no interest in her. This is because he didn't kidnap her, but you're not meant to know that yet.
No need to worry.
Interestingly, he also says that he's going to kill Jean, despite the fact that he told the others to capture him alive. I have theories about why this is the case, and I will explain them soon.
I've failed.
Jean defeats Belze, and has therefore dispatched his pride. He races off to the Tower of Angra in the hopes that he will find Olivia.
This is it. Hold on, Olivia. I'm coming for you.
It is at this point that Jean really starts to care for Olivia. He has banished all of his inner demons, and he must now confront Azel to banish his inner evil once and for all. In doing so, he will forgive Olivia, and he can die in peace.
On the way up the tower, Jean is challenged by echoes of his inner demons. Once he reaches the top, he finds Olivia under the influence of some sort of spell.
One chose the power of a demon, the other chose the power of a god, the power of the god hand. Now is the time to decide which has fate on its side.
This scene shows that the fate of Jean's soul comes down to this one battle. Heaven or hell, it all rests on who has the most power, Jean's good side or Jean's evil side.
Azel tells Jean that Olivia is now nothing more than bait for Angra, but I feel that this truly reveals Azel's naivety. Previously, Azel had scoffed at the demon's plans to resurrect Angra, but now he is trying to do it himself. I feel that this is because Azel believes that Angra will be the most effective tool with which to kill Jean. The plan exposes how little Azel knows of Angra and how poorly he understands the demon's true plan.
What you hook.
When Jean defeats Azel, all of the evil inside him flows out, resurrecting Angra. Angra is the true manifestation of all of Jean's inner demons combined. This is why Azel was naive. The demons which form Angra are the ones that Azel claimed for himself. The Devas wanted Angra's resurrection so that Jean could confront and defeat these demons. Azel never realized that to resurrect Angra, he would have to die. With all the evil drained from him, Azel realizes this truth and gives Jean his god hands to help him in the battle. This is Jean's toughest fight, but with the experience of overcoming the Devas under his belt, he emerges victorious. Olivia is now freed from her spell. Jean and Olivia talk about Azel and how everybody has darkness in their souls, but it's clear that they are really referring to the darkness that was inside Jean.
I guess he let Angra set up shop in the darkness of his shadow.
They share one final moment of levity before Jean runs off into the distance, and we know that Jean has finally passed away, and that his soul is heading to a better place.
Get back here, tough guy!
So, I said that I would explain why Belze changed his mind from wanting Jean alive to wanting him dead. The fact is that he didn't. Belze wanted Jean to become powerful enough to defeat Azel, so that he would awaken Angra, and so made sure that the other Devas only toyed with him to begin with until Jean was strong enough to defeat them. I suspect that Belze actually wanted Jean to win, to redeem his soul. The Devas were resident in Jean's soul from the very outset, and they were doomed to be damned either way, because if Jean didn't get them, Azel would. However, they clearly hated hell, and didn't want Jean to go there as well.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the plot of God Hand Explained. Or perhaps I've been talking bollocks this whole time.
I just need a real man who knows how to pleasure a woman.
Big guy! What in the world did you see in this chica anyway?
I love this dialogue. It's so bad.